Hello, viewer. Welcome to Chungu cha Jamii. My name is Betty. I am your host today, and I'm so glad that I am joined by a professor. We are going to be discussing a very important meeting, and that discussion is on turning talents into livelihood. At this time, I want to give the professor time to introduce himself before we take up this discussion. Welcome, Prof.
Thank you very much indeed for the information of the audience. Every human has a talent. Only about 15% of the world population can be described as gifted. So into the show, after the introduction, I will spend time to make people understand the meaning of talent. I know in Africa, I know in Kenya, our people think talent is sport, music, comedy, and the like. Those are just exhibited opportunities of talent, just in layman's language examples. So I will take my time to make sure that we understand what talent means, so that as we move along, we can be able to know how best to find someone's talent. Then what can we do with that we found, and why then it can explain that Africa, rich with all the resources, is not at the forefront of everything in the world today. So we should be able to explain that.
Wow. Excellent. That is really comprehensive, Prof. Thank you for that elaborate introduction. I am glad that I am sitting here also as one of your students today. I'm going to be learning a lot, not just thinking that talent is music and sports and the like, as you have put it. To start with, I will give you time straight away to tell us what talent is, because many of us think that talent is what you just discredited.
Thank you. Just to add on top of what I started earlier, many people rely on their interest, their passions, their competence, and they mix it up like a myth with talent. Betty, let me tell you, every human is designed by God in a unique manner, and you're built with your own unique metric values. So you as a human, you have your metric values. Make it simple. You have your own measurements. A human with metric values, those metric values, in our language, they're called genes, from the word gene. So talent even is measurable. It has a unit called a gene. So God planted in each person unique metric values, and those unique metric values is what we call talent. It's like saying, Betty, if I have your measurements and your house, I'll build you the way I want. 4-bedroom, story building, isn't it? Now, when we talk about a human structure, we talk about symptoms too. Just like if you are sick, that means your metric values do have problems. It will give indications. For example, you'll cough, you'll have a headache, you'll have fever. But when we have fever in Africa, we say it is malaria. The sickness is malaria. And what most of our people do, especially the ladies like you, Betty, nowadays you become doctors. You know all the medicines off the counter from the chemist. And you rely on what your mom used and what your grandma used.
Yes.
And we generally think they'll work. And that has been done over and over in Africa, that most sicknesses are known by heart, by guesswork.
Yes.
And when we use guesswork, we use symptoms. Symptoms are the ones being used. So the symptoms we use in talent to make our guesswork are like interest. So when you're in school, you're told, do what today, every parent, because I've done a 24-hour campaign, a 24-year campaign about talent in Africa. I've been fought, I've been called fake, bogus, and many things have been called when I started. Because they relied on the myth. when somebody tells you in school, go for your interest. Hey, how do you go for your interest? Very interesting. Follow your passion. Betty, how do you follow your passion? And today,
you discover it.
Strange. Today, the government of the Republic of Kenya, through benchmarking, which is also called copying and plagiarism, has come up with a symptom-based learning known as competence-based curriculum. What is competence? Competence you can't measure. It's an outcome. It's an indicator that you are capable of doing something. Just the same as if I have fever, certainly I could have malaria. Unfortunately, symptoms represent very many different sicknesses. The same fever would represent pneumonia, typhoid, malaria. You can now imagine if by guesswork you thought that the sickness is malaria and you've been treating malaria while the sickness is typhoid.
You went ahead and treated it.
Yes. Two things will happen. One, by adding wrong medication to your body, you'll introduce new sickness which was not there. And the old one will continue. In a week, it is too bad. You're going to hospital. It's so bad that you have to be admitted into a ward for something which would have been as simple as going for a professional assessment or a review with a good doctor instead of relying on a quack or your guesswork, knowing the correct sickness and getting the right medication. These are the problems we have in Africa, because in Africa, we still want to believe in the routines and norms of doing things. We say 40 years back, Kenya, Malaysia, Korea, Japan were at the same economic level. And we're imagining by copying that we'll catch up. How does a person who copy catch up?